All right, today I thought I'd go over my plans for December. Obviously, you've seen my community post. I have been trying to play Hyrule Warriors, but I felt like I needed to throw up after playing it for an hour. I don't know what it is, but just low frame rate games really mess with my eyes and stomach now. I don't really think I can play it. I don't think it's really worth it. This is, I don't make enough doing this, to be completely honest with you, to make myself suffer physically for the channel. Um, I know there's not really any other Muso games on the horizon anytime soon. I was hoping to get some more time out of it, but unfortunately, I bought it digitally, so I can't refund it or anything. I'm pretty much stuck with it. The only thing I can really do is I can dump my copy. I figure out how to do that, and then if the emulator can run it at 60 FPS, that would be the plan, I think. But who knows if that's going to happen? It's, I've been in the Discord for the emulator, and everybody's been asking for it. I know it's not just me. It's not something that affects everybody. I did have my vision checked pretty recently. I have like perfect 20/20 vision. Nothing wrong with my eyes. It's just it happens to some people, and unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about it. So I'm sorry, but I kind of knew that this would happen, so I didn't hype myself playing it too much. I feel like as a content creator, all the views for that game have been sucked dry by the big channels. So I thought I'd go over my December plans in a chronological order. Now, the first one here is Scorpina is coming to Battle for the Grid. I'm sure she's going to come with a pretty big patch. I haven't been playing this game much. I've just been so busy. But now that something I was planning to play for at least a couple weeks is kind of physically impossible right now, barring a patch on emulator. I'm going to be checking this out. This is going to be coming out on the 8th. Uh, Whether you're a Power Rangers fan or not is irrelevant. This is definitely one of the best uh, like fighting games on the market right now. In terms of the functionality, whether you like the gameplay is a matter of opinion too. Definitely is a very combo heavy game. You can definitely get destroyed in this game really quickly. People can do like really long combos if they understand how the combos work and stuff. It is a very fun game, and it's pretty much one of the few games right now. One of the mainstream like current games. I know a lot of older games have been getting rollback netcode on Steam. Fighting EX Layer, uh, KOF 2002 Unlimited Match, and Accent Core Plus R respectively. But there aren't many like modern generation games that have rollback netcode. So I'll be checking this out. Try to play this a little bit more before release too, but I don't know if I want to play as Lauren because I know they're going to nerf her into the ground because that's how this game always works. Is they put out a character that they think is balanced, and then the community just breaks them to the ground, and they get nerfed. RJ Geki Violet, go whatever you want to call him. They've nerfed him like twice, and he's still really good. So I don't think it's going to be like a neuter type thing. She's not going to get spayed and neutered. But I don't know if labbing with her is really productive right now. But yeah, that's the first thing I'll be doing in December. After that is Virgil's coming out, I believe, on the 15th. I honestly think it's unfair that they make us wait over a month for this when we're the ones that paid for the damn game in the first place. I, I did like a month's worth of kitty sitting to pay for this game. I remember I made that community post and I said, "Thank the kitties for DMC5 because I didn't get a review key." And what do I get for that? They make us wait. But I think the PC version of DMC5 is still going to be the best one because the legendary Dark Knight mode has been added via a fan mod, and it actually has more customization than the official one. You can actually change how many enemies spawn. You can change the difficulty dynamically, so you can have it run at like Devil Hunter. You can have it run at DMD if you really hate yourself. You can have it run at Hell in Hell and stuff like that. This will still be the best version of the game. I think they kind of want to strong arm people into buying a PS5, which is ironic because you can't buy that thing even if you're like a millionaire outside of buying it from a scalper, which you shouldn't do. Like, I'm sure people would buy the game again for Virgil if the consoles that it's on were actually accessible. Uh, I only raised about half of what I needed for the PS5, but I ended up just putting that into other aspects of the channel, closers, Hyrule Warriors, unfortunately, which was kind of a waste of money, and some other games for the Switch as well. But even if I had raised enough, it's like impossible to get those things right now. They've been selling out in like under a minute, so it's unfortunate. But I think it's going to be better off that I get it from here. It should be quite fun. I'll definitely update you guys on any mods as well. I haven't done anything with Legendary Dark Knight mode yet. I was kind of preparing for Hyrule Warriors, but now that my schedule is kind of clear about the next 2 weeks, I'll try to get that out maybe by next week. I've got some other things planned for the next few. We'll see what happens there. And then finally, the final Neo 2 DLC is going to be out on the 17th, which will actually be the 16th. So the 15th is going to be Virgil, and then the 16th is going to be the final Neo 2 DLC. I believe I've done enough of the Dream of the Wise to actually just unlock the next difficulty. So I'll probably have to do a little bit of prep time, but I should be able to jump in this right away. Apparently, there's not going to be a new weapon, but there's going to be a new difficulty. I know the loot is probably going to get even better. I don't think the loot was that great in Neo 2 until this last DLC that dropped last month. I think that was what really opened the floodgates in terms of build variety and stuff. Some people think it's a little bit overpowered, but this game's still full of artificial difficulty. They did get rid of a decent chunk of it, but there's still a lot. I thought it was just me. I'm not really accustomed to these kinds of games. I don't like playing games with tons of artificial difficulty, but there's like a whole community feedback post that was sent to Koei Tecmo themselves or Team Ninja themselves about a lot of things I noticed that were just me thinking that I'm bad at the game. I'm admittedly not that great at Neo. I'm not terrible at it, but I'm not great at it either. Uh, we'll see how things go. I'm kind of interested in this. There's not going to be a new weapon, but I guess there's going to be new loot. I honestly feel like a new difficulty is kind of overboard because they already have the Stone of Penance mechanic, which basically is like your own dynamic difficulty. You can scale it up as much as possible to the point where pretty much everything kills you in 1 or 2 hits. I don't really know what the point of another difficulty is. Like, if it's just going to be that, then I don't know if I have the patience for that. There's nothing resembling the Abyss in the first game either, but I actually thought that was a pretty bad post game mode because it was like almost 1,000 floors, and the game only had like 20 bosses, and you just kept fighting just combinations of those same 20 bosses over and over again, and everything one shot you. I hope they won't get to that point here. If the loot is worth it, I could see it being fun to grind through it and then just go back like on difficulty or something, and maybe do some fun runs or something. But I'll be checking this out. I mean, I already paid for it. I've actually paid for uh, basically all of this stuff. I already paid for the season pass, the season 3 pass for Battle for the Grid, and then I already paid for the season pass for this, and then Virgil's only going to be $5. So December's content is pretty much already paid for. I'll probably put some money into closers. I know some people have been enjoying watching that. There's not really a whole lot else going on in December, as far as I know. I know a couple games I play will be updated. I know Magia X will be updated. Um, Kate Bishop, that random archer, is coming out on Avengers. I don't know if I'll really go back to that game because I felt like the loot was really boring. Once I fixed the optimization stuff on my end, and after they did a couple patches, I could pretty much run the game fine. It was just that the gameplay loop was kind of broken because the gear was very uninteresting. So, see what happens there. That's what I'm doing. I'm sorry for having to pretty much tire Hyrule Warriors, but this is not the first time this has happened. I had to retire Gundam Breaker 3 for the same reason. I think just like fast-paced games with really bad frame rates, they just don't mix, and it's a shame that Hyrule Warriors is that way. And people have been saying that they have no issues. It's like you guys must be blind because every time you use a bomb or the fire rod in that game, the game goes down to like 9 FPS, several seconds at a time. It's just a mess. I think the game itself is actually quite good. I think it bodes well for the future of Koei Tecmo developed Muso because every character is unique. There are no clones. They have a lot of unique things about them. It kind of feels a little bit closer to Basara than a lot of the other recent Muso games have. Obviously, that's kind of a byproduct of having to create everything from scratch. They didn't even really recycle anything from the last game. They made everything from scratch. Um, Fortunately, that's harder to do when you have like 100 characters in your game, but it shows that they are capable of doing that kind of thing when they're not kind of restricted by being shackled to a massive roster. It's a shame that it couldn't really make anything for it, but I feel like all the bases have been covered on that game anyway. All the clickbait channels are playing it. A lot of them got keys and I didn't, and I just don't think I really have much to offer. I can say that if you can stomach the terrible frame rates, then the game is worth it. But if you can't, I would recommend waiting. I don't think a performance patch is on the horizon. The problem is the game is already running at a sub-native resolution. It also makes heavy use of dynamic resolution, so something like a performance mode is not in the cards. It's not like how it was with Fire Emblem Warriors, where they actually lowered the resolution. Um, Part of the problem is the game gets really blurry too. The dynamic resolution could go down to like sub HD, like standard definition levels. It's just a mess. I tried to play today, and that was the original plan for today's video, was to play that. But I played it for like an hour in portable mode while I was doing other things, and yeah, I legit felt like I had to throw up. I had to like physically stop playing the game. I love you guys. I love my community. I'm very passionate about my channel, and I work the hardest I can. But I don't think throwing up over a video game is worth it, especially with how little I make and how often I have to ask for donations and stuff. So this is what I'm going to be doing for December. There's going to be a number of other updates. I'm sure Maggia X is going to get updated. Closers will get updated. There's supposed to be a collaboration on KOF All Star at some point. So there's going to be lots of interesting things happening. And luckily, uh, almost all of it I've already paid for. So it's literally free content for me and for you guys. Thanks for understanding. I'm sorry again. There's really not much I can do about it. If the emulator does get it to run at 60 FPS, seems like it would be harder to do that because the game does not run uncapped. It tries to run at 30 FPS, but pretty much fails at all aspects. I don't know how easy that would be to do. I don't know if the game logic is tied to the frame rate, or it's possible that they may have done some future proofing in the code and made it so that they could unlock it when there's a new Switch. Obviously, the new Switch is pretty much all but confirmed. It seems like it's going to be coming out in the first quarter of next year, so probably around my birthday in March. That's what the current well-rounded rumor is. If that happens, then most likely I'll probably just jailbreak my current Switch because I actually have one of the first ones that can be jailbroken no matter what. And then maybe I'll look into doing some emulation. It'd be nice to do emulation on the Switch, but I haven't done anything with my Switch at all. Apparently, people do have jailbroken Switches that have copies of the game, have run it overclocked, and it basically just keeps a stable 30 FPS for the most part. So, outside of them using the boost mode, which gives higher clock speeds, it allows it to overclock a little bit. I don't really think much can be done with that game, wise, which is a shame, but that's just how it is, I guess. Nintendo needs to get with the times and make more powerful hardware because it's obvious that that they're going to be left behind. I think it's weird that this is not the first time this has happened with a first-party Nintendo game on the Switch either. The Link's Awakening remake constantly switched between 30 and 60 FPS. Like I think every time you change the screen or something, which is every few seconds to a minute in that game. It was very jarring from what I heard. I did watch some streams of it, and I could see how it would mess with people's eyes. But I guess with the Muso game, there's just not really much that can be done. So thanks again. I apologize, and yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening in December. Catch you guys later.